Hello again, everybody, and welcome to the Francesa Five for week number 16. Hard to imagine where it's gone, but it has flown by, as we always say. And as I mentioned, the playoffs will add some college football excitement because the bowls, as you know, will offer virtually a zero. So you have them Friday, you have them Saturday. The game we're zeroing in on is Saturday at noon, the 7:10 matchup between number 10 Miami and number 7 Texas A&M in what will be an extremely noisy college station. A&M is a 3.5 point favorite. Um, there's no question that these are two talented teams. These are two teams that physically can stand up. I like A&M for two reasons. One, coaching, and two, Miami has struggled when they get to this level of opponent. They have done that for years now, and I think that will continue. Like I said, A&M is the 7. They're home. Miami is the 10. Anytime you get a 7-10, you know you're in a very competitive area as far as competition goes. But while these teams are close in that regard, I feel that A&M is sitting on a very good game. I like how they approach this game. I like how they match up in this game, and I expect them to come out on the long end. Now, playing in College Station, as we know, is one of the more raucous places to play. The 12th man is a major factor. You know they don't sit down, and they make plenty of noise. I just think this is a very tall order for Miami. Miami being here and how it's going to be measured is going to be highly controversial. If they don't play well with Notre Dame on the outside, that is going to get a ton of mention, of course. But it isn't just about Miami when it comes to Notre Dame. It's about Alabama. It's about letting the teams in that are long shots, like James Madison and Tulane. It's about all the things that went on and the weekly rankings before it. So it's not just one thing and shouldn't center just on Miami. But I think Miami is entering and leaving as I expect A&M to survive and advance to next week's competition. Later 3.5 with the Aggies, game number one. Game number two is as much a negative Raider thing. I went against the Raiders last week. I went against them the week before that. They're the worst team in the league. They are banged up. I honestly, and I have great respect for Pete Carroll. He's had a terrific career, both in college and in the NFL. I mean, anytime you've accomplished what he's done on both levels, it speaks volumes. But I mean, he has done a disastrous job with this Raider team. Um, you feel for the players like Max Crosby and their brilliantly talented tight end, and even Genty. You feel for these guys as they play out the string. They went to Philly, they got crushed, they couldn't score. I wouldn't be surprised if they get shut out again this week. Now that it's hard to say shutout, but don't be surprised if they don't score more than 3 or 7 points. The Texans are on a major roll. They're the best defensive team in the league. They're playing better and better with each passing week, and I think they explode all over the Raiders. You know, they'll want to make these games much more than 14 no matter what. They don't want to go stretching these things up to 17 and 18. So you get a little bit of a break, I think, at this point. And I would be surprised, very surprised if this was just a 14-point game. I think it's much more likely a 28 to 30 point decision. Give me the Texans minus 14 against the hapless Raiders, who I think are going to continue to lose right through they until they make a draft pick. Um, there's a couple other ways to go in these games. I try to stay on the games that have a little meaning. Um, the Pats and the Ravens on Sunday night. The Ravens are 3-point favorites. It's going to be very interesting. You see, the Pats are in good shape despite the crushing loss they suffered against Buffalo. That game was more to their psyche than anything else. They're still going to win the division because they close with the Jets and the Dolphins. They have a lead. They're 11-3. They're going to get to 13 wins, even with a loss in this game. Ravens have a lot more to play for, no question. They have a lot more to be keyed up about. But you can see that Vrabel knows that this game is going to be important if my team's going to do anything in the postseason. They need to rebound. They need to get right back on the horse after having the kind of second half they had against the Bills. Don't want that to linger. Don't want that to fester. Don't want to carry that into the postseason. Still, I think this is the Ravens at home with their talented quarterback who looked more like himself last week. I think the Ravens win this. I think they win it by more than 3 points. Give me the Ravens -3 against the Pats on Sunday night. The Broncos, I haven't picked the Broncos much this year. They're not what you consider a margin team, but they keep winning week after week after week. You like them more as dogs. They're 3-point favorites here. I was puzzled by the line. I thought it would be higher, but they're giving the Jacksonville Jags, who are 10-4, some respect. And why not? They scored a lot of points last week. Their defense is good. They take the ball away. Their quarterback makes plays. And, they've played well over a period of weeks here. I don't see them carrying that to Denver. Denver's got a mission here. They want to be the 1 seed in the worst way. I think Denver wins. They're only 3-point favorites, which I thought was low, puzzlingly low, but I thought low. Give me the Broncos -3 in game number 4. And then I picked the Colts last week because I thought that the line was outrageous, that the Colts have way too much talent to be treated like the Titans or the Raiders. I mean, if the Raiders played in Seattle, they'd be 15, 16-point underdogs. The Titans would be, 15, 16. The Colts were getting 14 points. I thought it was crazy. I thought Rivers would do what he did. He actually threw the ball a little better and connected on more passes than I thought he did, but I did not think he would go in there and make a lot of mistakes. And he didn't. And he had a chance to be the hero there. Almost was. This week they're playing a very high-scoring team in the Niners, who are very good offensively, but still hurting dramatically on defense. Niners are a 6-point favorite. I think this line is extremely generous, just like last week. So I'm on the Colts again, +6. I think this game comes down to a field goal. I think it could very well be a shootout game. I think the game will be in the high 20s or low 30s for the winner. I wouldn't be surprised if it was a back and forth deal. Give me the Colts +6 on Monday night. So Aggies -3.5 in college against Miami. Texans all over the Raiders -14. Ravens -3 Sunday night against the Pats in a game they need a lot more than the Pats do. Broncos -3 against the Jaguars as they try to take the moves to lock up that 1 seed, which Sean wants in the worst way. And Sean is starting to smell Super Bowl. Don't think anything else. And Colts +6 with the old man Rivers at quarterback for another week. Let's see if he can get another cover. The Francesa Five for week number 16. 3-2 last week. Try and keep, I think that's 3 or 4 weeks in a row we've at least been on the winning side. 4-1 the week before. We're about 4 or 5 games over. We're nothing great, but 4 or 5 games over for the season. We'll see if we can finish strong. Those are the picks. The Francesa Five for week number 16. Good luck.